Goes to strip every Friday religiously. Will not miss one.
Red flag.
Okay. Asks you on a study date to Strozier.
Green flag.
It's hot. It's hot.
Hi, girl gang. Welcome back to another episode of the FSU Edit. Today, I am here with none other than the woman behind the most infamous Instagram account for college women at FSU, social media manager Jacqueline Klein for FSUChicks.
Hey.
Hi, Jackie. Jackie and I will be discussing the good, the bad, and the ugly of FSU dating culture, plus a little special segment at the end that you won't want to miss. So let's get into it. Jackie, I'm so excited that you're here. First, I just want to talk about for a second how we met, because I've been wanting to do this episode for so long. Like, when I first started the podcast, I was like, I would love to do an episode with whoever runs FSUChicks, right? But I guess I'm kind of taking over here, but I was like, who is this girl? How can I get a hold of her? Like, she's way too famous for me, probably. There's no way I'm gonna be able to find her. And of course, I never thought of DMing the Instagram account, because I was like, she probably gets so many DMs that like she wouldn't be able to answer. And then one night, I think I was out, I think it was it?
It was Township.
Yeah.
Township, $2
It was
Tuesday.
Township at $2 Tuesday.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
I run into one of our mutual friends, and we just like say hi, of course. And I'm like, oh, who are you with? And she was like, oh, I'm here with this friend. Like, you should meet her. You'd love her. She's so sweet. And I'm like, yeah, of course. And she was like, yeah, she runs that like Instagram account. I don't know if you've heard of it, FSUChicks. I kid you not, in that moment, I was like, are you serious? And I was like, play it cool, like don't be too much right now. And then that's how I met you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, it was so awesome, like, getting to, like, meet you. And I was like, I remember you saying it was so loud in there like that night. And I honestly, at first, I thought you were trying to like be a part of FSUChicks. And I'm like, yeah, girl, like apply. And you were like, no, I want to interview you. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Honestly, yes, I would love to.
Has anyone asked to interview you yet?
From her campus?
Just in general.
Yes.
Okay. Wait, who? Can I ask?
I don't remember who it was.
Was it for like a publication here or just?
Yeah, it was for her campus.
Oh, it was already for her.
yeah,
campus. But it was
yeah.
a written article.
It was a written article.
But
yeah.
no one's done anything like video-wise or anything.
Correct.
You heard it here.
Yeah.
We're the first.
Yes.
I love that. So essentially, that's so funny that you thought I was going to try and apply, I guess, to be with FSUChicks.
Yeah, and I was like, because some people asked me that, and I was like, you know what, girl, yeah, like, if it's something that you really want to do, I say apply.
Yeah.
Sure.
But I had no idea that you could even apply for something like this. So tell me, how did you get into it? Take me back to whatever brought you to it. Did you find it? Did it find you?
All right, so let's go back to 2021. We're taking it all the way back.
Taking it all the way back.
Over 4 years ago, I had just transferred to Florida State with my associate's degree, and I was pursuing my bachelor's in media communications.
Love.
And what made me want to pursue my degree in that is because, like, ever since middle school, I had such, like, a strong interest in media. I had a YouTube. I was making some YouTube vlogs here and there. So embarrassing. A lot of them already, like, privated and everything. And I did have a little podcast that I had, like, on Spotify where I was just talking about random things if it came to, like, you know, my college life or just life in general, you know, how things were going. So then I obviously was following all the major accounts like Barstool FSU, Old Road Knowles, and FSUChicks. And at the time, I was scrolling through FSUChicks, and I remember it was a very small account. They had barely 11,000 followers. And I was scrolling through and I was like, you know what? How cool would it be if I got to run an account like this? Like, yes, I don't have any social media marketing experience, but I love Florida State. You know, I'm a chick. I think I'm confident in myself. I can take over the account and be funny, or funny enough at least. So I started reaching out to people, cold messaging people that worked at Barstool, since it's a Barstool affiliated account. And it took a few months of being persistent and everything. And, I had no luck. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to give up on this. And then I heard that there was going to be a Barstool event at Potts. Brianna Chicken Fry was going to be there.
No way.
She was doing her college dropout tour. And I was like, okay, I have to go. I had work. I was like, okay, I need my friend to cover for me. Like, she was so great. She was like, okay, yeah. She knew that this meant a lot to me. And I showed up to the meet and greet, and I met Brianna, and I was like, I'm really interested in running this account. Like, do you have any advice for me to get involved? So she wasn't originally part of running a Barstool account or anything, but her assistant was.
Okay.
So then she was like, I ran the Chicks account at Penn State. I can help you. I think we need someone for FSUChicks. And I was like, oh my gosh, that would be a dream come true.
You were like, that's actually exactly why I'm here. So
Yeah, so I would say about 2 weeks later, I was officially FSUChicks.
wow. Okay, so from the time when you thought in your mind, okay, I would love to run an account like this, to then, I guess, emailing people at Barstool and then actually getting to run the account, like, how long did that take?
It took over 3 months.
Okay.
The whole first fall semester of me being at Florida State.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this was your first year at Florida State, and you already came in with, like, the biggest of dreams. You were like, I'm going to run this account. Like, where there's a will, there's a way.
Yes. I don't even feel like embarrassed to say this. I did manifest it. I had a manifestation journal. I was like, I'm gonna be FSUChicks.
And it worked, though.
It did. It did.
I
So,
honestly feel
period.
like anyone who's told me they have a manifestation journal, like, it's kind of worked for them.
It did.
That's crazy.
I feel like whenever you write something down, you're more willing to make it come true.
Yeah.
So I think, like I said, with that and then just continuing to be persistent, like that's how I got it.
Wait, that's so inspirational. I needed
Thank
that.
you.
So I just want to know, and you don't have to out whoever it was before, but like, did you know who was FSUChicks before this, or did they just kind of blindly hand over the account to you?
So no, I did not know who the girls were that were running FSUChicks beforehand. I had actually DM'd them, and I had maybe messaged him like 2 or 3 times within the same month. Like I said, I was being persistent or attempting to. And then finally someone got back to me a couple weeks later and they were like, are you interested in running like TikTok? Do you have TikTok experience? I was like, yes, I would be so interested. And then they ghosted me. So
No.
I don't think they didn't intentionally mean to ghost me. I think they just like didn't know what exactly was going on because they had to go through Barstool and asking the supervisors at Barstool. So it wasn't anything on them. I think it was just not right timing. I think that's like another thing. It was timing. When I eventually got it, it's like the stars aligned, and I was like, okay. So it was worth the wait. Like obviously, I wanted to do it right then and there, but I think those few months leading up to it, that was important.
It's hot.
Hookup culture is supposed to be fun, casual, no strings attached, but what happens when it isn't? If you thought you were the only one who's ever felt this way, this article is for you. The emotional complexity of hookup culture no one talks about dives into the mixed emotions, unmet expectations, and quiet moments of confusion that can follow. Tap the link down below to read more.
It's hot.
And so when it comes to the identity of FSUChicks, how do you approach that? Are you trying to keep it kind of on the down low, or do you just openly tell people you're FSUChicks?
So when I first began running FSUChicks, I told all my friends, I was so excited. I'm like, I'm finally running FSUChicks. But don't tell anyone, because the guidelines at the time with Barstool and signing a contract was we couldn't do any on-face content. We couldn't show our face. We couldn't let anyone know other than our close friends. So that was really hard. But then they eventually changed the rules a few months later, and we were able to do on-face content on TikTok and man on the street interviews. So junior year, I would say I was on the down low, But then the very beginning of my senior year, I started doing the man on the street interviews, which I posted to both Instagram and TikTok. And I would say that started, September of 2022. It was the first football game of the year. I'm not gonna lie. That was not my best work. I was so nervous. I was also TMI hungover. My microphone, I had a little mini mic, and it broke halfway through the interviews. And yeah, it was not my best. And I remember receiving a lot of hate and just like saying like, this is a terrible video. This is not funny. And
The account received lots of hate from that?
yeah, I received a
wow.
lot of hate comments, mostly from men, saying, yeah, this isn't funny. And at first I was, a little bit taken aback. I'm like, this is my first video ever showing my face. I'm a little upset, but I'm not gonna let this get to me. And then 2 weeks later, I decided to go back out. I went in front of pods and I did another Men on the Street interview, and that went a lot better. I was definitely a lot more confident in myself, and it just felt more natural. So I would say after that, like a month after my first interviews, when I started getting noticed out in the bars, whether I was like at town shit, recess, wherever, people would be like, wait, do you run FSUChicks? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. It was really surreal, honestly, because I started to feel like a little celebrity. People like knowing me from an account. Like it was really crazy.
Yeah, that's something that I never really thought about when it came to this account. I don't think I've seen the Man on the Street interviews that you've done, but I never thought about the kind of like hate that your account could receive because it's so big now, and because people do look to it as a source of just like comedy, like take on whatever's happening in pop culture or anything like that, what's happening at FSU. And so the fact that you had to receive hate on your very first video is kind of a crazy experience that not many people, I would say, are trying to get into it would probably have. Like if you do a bad video your first time, like no one's probably gonna see it. Like it's just gonna flop and that'll be what it is. But you kind of had to be out on like the main stage, trying to be funny, trying to be someone, like putting your like personality on the line almost. It's not like you're hiding behind like the FSUChicks persona. It's kind of like you're also being you at the same time. And that's like pretty scary, I would say.
It was. It really was. It was very nerve-wracking.
But look at you now, like so successful, and like you came back from it and you made a funny video. And honestly, I'm not surprised that the only haters were men. I'm not gonna lie, because I'd love to see them do it. I really would.
No, for real.
Like, there's not like an FSU boys account, is there?
No,
Like, okay, the biggest haters are the ones that aren't even doing anything. So I don't want to hear it.
I mean, there's like Barstool FSU and Old Road Nose. Old Road Nose.
That's such a tongue twister.
Yeah,
Old
no,
Road,
like, it's so hard to like,
Old
say that.
Road Knowles.
Yeah.
Whoever, see, and if a man came up with that name,
Yeah.
that's exactly why. Because it's
No.
hard to pronounce. Like,
Yeah, so I would say they post content, but it's never on face content. I don't know why they don't do interviews and stuff like that, but
because they're not funny,
Yeah.
that's why. Anyways, okay. So obviously we have to talk about some of the biggest trends that you started from your account. Well, maybe you didn't start them, but you've continued them and continue to make them funny. So let's talk about them. The infamous Tinder Tuesdays, Unhinged Thursdays, and Are We Sleeping with the Same Guy? So tell us about your experience with those. I know did you start them, or how have you continued them?
I did not start them. I did take it on when I began the account. I knew that Tinder Tuesdays was very popular, especially with Barstool FSU. But FSUChicks was still, posting here and there. And then when I took it on, I was like really, like, I just thought it was so funny, like getting all of these DMs of these obnoxious guys and like what they would say to girls at FSU. I'm like, okay, I gotta like keep on looking through these DMs and curating it so it's the funniest. And so I did that for a while in undergrad, and then I would say when I came back to FSU for grad school and I was still doing FSUChicks, I then started doing collaborations with Barstool FSU. So I guess just like reach a broader audience.
Nice.
But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I would just say that it's very questionable what these men say, but they have to be exposed. I'm sorry.
No, for sure, because they think that they can just say whatever they want in
Yeah.
these DMs, but clearly not. They're not safe. And honestly,
safe.
I think the more I would read them, the crazier they seem to get. And I'm probably sure too, like, I'm kind of wondering, like, do these men know about Tinder Tuesdays? Like, do you think they know and are, like, trying to get posted?
100%, because in some of these, messages that they're sending to girls, they're like, oh, please don't post this. I don't want to be posted for Tinder Tuesday. Don't send this to FSUChicks. And then I think like sometimes they're purposely wanting to be posted,
It's
especially
like,
when
no,
they say that right
totally
after.
don't post me. But, like, you can if you want.
Yeah, no. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, you just want the attention.
For sure. But I think was the Are We Sleeping with the Same Guy? Is that a newer one or has that been going on for a while now?
That's a newer segment. So I started Are We Sleeping with the Same Guy fall of like this past fall.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
fall
Okay, I was
2025.
like, this is new. Yeah.
Yes, but also I didn't start that. I forgot which chick's account did, but I thought it was so funny, like seeing just like random guys' rooms that girls would take, and I knew it would perform well. So I was getting a lot of DMs at first, with like random guys' rooms. I'm like, hopefully he doesn't have a girlfriend.
Oh my God.
But I did create the graphic. I'm really proud of how that graphic turned out. Like the black and white retro.
Really cute. I love that.
Thank you. I made it on Canva. It took like a little bit, but I was like, okay, wait, this is cute. And and then girls would like send them in on a weekly basis, but only for like a few months. And then it really slowed down. I think it's because girls, I don't know if they're like afraid or like they're afraid of getting called out by the guy.
Like if he recognizes his room and he's like, I know this was you. Like you took a picture of my room.
Yeah, so I feel like that's probably what it has to do with, because it's just like
Yeah, but the room pictures aren't even like, you can't tell really what it is. Like it's
that's
because
the thing, they all kind of look the same.
yeah,
And there was, like,
it's
a lot
like
of
the
comments.
corner of the room and like the side of the bed maybe, but it's not like you're getting your like location revealed or anything like that. Yeah. But that's interesting. So yeah, I know you said that it's kind of slowing down as of late in terms of submissions, which let this be the sign, ladies. Start submitting again
Please do.
to FSUChicks because we need content. We need a laugh, honestly.
Yes.
Like it's February already and I've hardly laughed this year.
It's hot.
Dating in college isn't easy, especially with the current shift away from commitment. In the dynamics of dating culture on college campuses, we explore the reality of modern college dating with the rise of social media. If you've ever thought dating in college was nearly impossible, you're not alone. Tap the link down below to read more.
It's hot.
But I think this is a perfect segue into talking just about FSU dating culture because I think dating is probably a good chunk of the content that you put out for FSUChicks. And so what have you kind of noticed about like the dating culture here at FSU just from running the account solely like past couple years?
It's toxic. It can be toxic. It can be complicated. It can be draining.
Yeah, so I like those words, honestly. I think complicated is probably like the strongest one for sure. But with the themes with some of these, like the Unhinged Thursdays and the Tinder Tuesdays, it's like online dating, right? So, I mean, I have to ask you, have you ever downloaded a dating app, used a dating app? Tell us maybe.
Yes, I did have a Hinge. I did have a Tinder. I made a Tinder during COVID. So, I was much younger. I think a lot of people were on the dating apps because everyone was just like bored with their life. So at that time, I was just on it for fun out of like boredom. But I would say going to FSU, I was like, let me see what's out there.
And what was your experience?
Okay, so I would say at first it was fun because I was getting invited to these date functions and I didn't rush a sorority, so I was like, oh, hey, this is so fun. And oh my gosh, I just like looking back at it, like one of the very first guys that I talked to, I look back at like the date function pictures, I'm like, I look like such a little baby. And I remember okay, he graduated, so like I don't even care. Like, but I remember being like so down bad after he ghosted me after day function. And at first, like obviously it gets to you because you're just now like stepping into like this different world of like being at a big college and there's so many people. So I would say, yeah, no, it was rough. And then continuing after that, I think most of the time that I was on there, yeah, it was because of boredom or, like sometimes we want the attention.
100%. Yeah, no, that's totally
Yeah.
fair. I've had dating apps too. I'm not ashamed to admit it. I've had Tinder before, I've had Hinge before. So I just feel like it's kind of a collective experience we've all had at some point.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to be ashamed of for it. I feel like having a dating app, like, in and of itself is not something that we should be hating on, but I will say that it can get pretty messy on there pretty fast. So what do you think is like a rookie mistake people make coming to college and like trying to enter the dating scene?
I think, especially with girls, your expectations are way too high. I'm sorry. And
That's like the truth we needed to hear, probably. Like, we might not
Yeah.
want to hear it, but we needed to hear it, you know?
yeah, I would say that when I see other girls, like from what I've seen, I think they think they're gonna get a boyfriend right away. They're gonna find like the love of their life or something coming into college. And I fear it usually doesn't work like that. I feel like a lot of the people that I see that are in relationships, healthy relationships, it all really comes down to luck, comes down to like, timing. I'm just gonna say like overall, I like decided that the love of my life is not in Tallahassee.
And
I've
that
done
is so fair. And I think a lot of people would probably agree with you. And I think it might be even a relief to some people to be like, okay, the love of my life is just not here. And why would they
Yeah.
be? It is Tallahassee, Florida, to be honest.
Yeah, but then
You know, it's college too. Like, what are the chances you find like the love of your life in like the 4 years that you're here?
that's true, yeah, because you think that 4 years is a really long time, but it's not. It goes by so quickly. And I feel like, yes, I have seen some people, being a little bit older, some of my friends have graduated and they're still in this relationship. They're probably going to get married, but it's so few, so rare.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
like how you said too that a lot of it is luck and timing.
It is.
And listen, I'm a hopeless romantic like the next girl. I'm a lover girl, but I do believe that a lot of, like you said, like actually entering a relationship, so many things have to line up for it to work. You guys have to be like in the same place in your life. You guys have to kind of want the same things, to have want similar lifestyles even. And that might sound ridiculous when it's just like, oh, it's just college dating. But it's so much. Like, I don't know. I think I talked to friends who are like trying to enter the dating scene or trying their best to like navigate it. And I feel like they just keep coming up empty. But that's just because there's so many factors that we can't control that have to be in place for it to work. Yeah, so I just want to talk to you about kind of the hookup culture thing we've got going on here. I think FSU is pretty notorious for that hookup culture in general. So what are your thoughts on that? Do you feel like it's something that's grown really toxic? Are there benefits to it? Like, what do you think?
I would say it is very toxic. I don't see much of a benefit in it because someone's just bound to be hurt. Like, I hate to say it, kind of going back to what you said, a lot of the time, you want something differently than the other person. So that's where there's going to be miscommunication. There's going to be these differences, and it's just going to end with you hurt. And I'm going to be honest, I have my fair share of that in both undergrad and grad school. I thought it would get better in grad school. I'm like, wait, everyone's like a little bit older now. Maybe the guys are more mature now. No, they're not. It was maybe like just as bad as undergrad, navigating, talking to guys. So I would say, yeah, no, overall, hookup culture is very toxic, especially at FSU. Yeah.
And I think a lot of people think they might be able to almost like lie to themselves and be like, I can totally do this. I can keep it casual. I can say, because I don't even want a relationship right now. And you might not, but still like entering into that hookup thing with someone else, whatever it may be, whether that's even if it's just like, always going home with them every night after like purg or something, whatever it is for you, I feel like we tell ourselves like we can keep doing it, but it's not sustainable. Like it's not something you can string along for like 6 months at a time, and it always lasts that long. It's never, no one's ever in and out with these things. Like I thought that was the point of hookup culture, was for it to be quick. It's never quick. Like I feel like they kind of get hung up on people and stick around.
I would say yes. I've run into both, where like some of them are definitely like very short term things. But then I see with my friends, it's, like you're talking to them for a little bit, other people come in the picture, then other people come back into the picture. And I feel like a lot of that has to do with, like proximity.
True.
We're all way too close on this college campus. Everyone lives in this like little bubble.
Yes.
Around FSU. So I think, that can be toxic in itself. Not being able to completely move on until, you're finally, graduating and leaving Tallahassee for good.
Yeah, no, that's so fair. And I think I feel like I don't want to sound too like hopeless when I say any of this, because like you did say, it is possible. Like there are people that that have been in relationships that like they met in college and they're still together and they're very happy and they're very healthy. So what would, like, if you could give one piece of advice to the girls, relationship wise, I mean, we're going to get into some more advice, but just one piece of advice that you think is kind of the golden rule of dating at FSU, what would it be?
Golden rule. Don't get your hopes up. I would say go into things, with no expectations at all. Because, I was saying earlier.
You said bring those bad boys down
to like
here,
zero.
to the ground.
Like, just don't expect anything. If a guy asks you out for drinks, go. Just, like, go have fun. Like, you're going to get a free drink out of it. But don't put too much pressure. Like, okay, like, yeah, like, he's cute. I really want this to work out. I want him to, like, text me after, whatever. If they don't feel the same way, like, it's hard because I've been in this situation before where I feel like one way and they don't. Just like treat it as a date. It's like at the end of the day, it's a date. It doesn't have to mean anything. And so overall, golden rule is keep your expectations low, please, especially at Florida State.
Yeah, no, that's so fair. And I think it's okay, too, to be still a little bit sad or disappointed.
Yeah.
But don't, like, hang on to that. And don't internalize that and make it, like, what's wrong with me? Why aren't they texting me back? Like, I think that's really the problem. It's not so much being, like, sad that something didn't work out. It's, like, internalizing it and thinking, something's wrong with me. Like, why don't they like me? Like, most of the time, it's never even about you. So.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you have right there, because in undergrad, I took things way too personally. I'm like, okay, I said something wrong,
Yeah.
I did something wrong, I shouldn't have reached out, like, what could I have done to, like, fix this? And the truth is, you couldn't have done anything to fix it because it's not your issue. They're just, like, their own self, and you can't control them.
Right,
And
for sure.
it sucks because I was like, everyone wants to, like, be in control, but you can't, and it's unfortunate. But, yes, I think it's also, remembering that you're not the problem.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're not the problem.
Right, but that's only for girls.
Yeah,
That only applies
exactly.
to girls.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm just kidding, guys. But I want to move into the last bit of this episode, which I'm super excited for. We had some of our Girl Gang listeners dial in for advice from you, specifically, Jackie, but also FSUChicks. So I'm just going to read out some of these questions that they have, and then you can give your thoughtful advice. Okay, let me pull them up.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited too. I was like, guys, please respond. Okay, so this is a good one. Okay, I actually think this one might potentially be from a guy or a girl, honestly.
Ooh.
It could be a girl. It could be either.
Okay.
But just based on the way this is written, perhaps. But basically, you're asking, what's the best way to impress a girl that has a strong personality?
Strong personality. I feel like strong, that can mean, like, multiple things. Like,
Okay.
What do you think they mean? Like, someone that's, like, overly confident?
Maybe someone who's,
popular,
outgoing,
extroverted.
has like opinions, knows what they want, kind of thing. I don't know.
They're asking, like, how do you approach someone like that?
Yeah, how would you impress someone like
How would
that?
you impress them? I feel like me being outgoing myself, I feel like I'm pretty extroverted. To be FSUChicks and do the man on the street interviews and
Yeah.
everything.
So how would
you
we
have to,
impress
like,
FSUchicks is the real question.
you can't be boring. I'm sorry. Like, I've ran into so many boring men. They can't carry a conversation. They don't have any hobbies or aspirations in life.
So we're canceling boring men.
Yeah, we're canceling boring men. I can never be the boring man. I don't care how hot you are. I'm not sticking around.
No, that's so real. So wait, what's something that makes a man like immediately interesting, or just any person?
So when they have goals, like meaningful
Yeah.
goals that are long term, whether it comes to their career, and I said like their hobbies, if they're super interested
Right.
in something that is, meaningful, not just like something random like their fraternity or just like a random sport they don't actually play.
Yeah, that's so fair. I think like actually having a plan for your life and just like wanting things and going after them. That's always going to be interesting no matter what it is. So, for sure. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. This one's a little bit long, so stick with me here. But what do you do when nothing's actually wrong? I'm assuming with your relationship, but both people are super busy with school and work, so they barely spend time together anymore, but also have been together long enough to feel like that's just how it has to be now?
I've never been in an actual relationship. I know it's great. I've never had a boyfriend, but I feel like I take a lot of like advice and just like things that I see from experience from my other friends and people around me. I would say that if things are starting to be like super hectic and everything with like school and whatnot, it's time to sit down and communicate because maybe it's time to take a little break. And if you can't like handle like being in a relationship where you're able to like spend quality time together and everything, then I think it's time to like definitely like, take a step back and see what your priorities are. Because like maybe I'm not saying, because I don't know their exact like scenario, but maybe I feel like it's fine to take a break here and there. Like,
So you're pro like relationship breaks, like not break up.
No,
but,
break up. Like, if like taking like a few weeks or like a month or so to focus on the other things that you need to prioritize, like responsibilities, like true responsibilities and everything. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're just like being communicative about it and everything, because if you can't make it work at the moment, then you can't make it work.
That's fair. Yeah, I like what you said about evaluating your priorities for one, because it sounds like whoever's writing this in maybe feels like their relationship isn't the number one priority in either of their lives, perhaps. And so it is helpful to sit down and talk about it. And I feel like I would say too, maybe determine how much of this is temporary and how much of this is continuing to be a pattern. Like, is it just like every semester it's like we're so busy, we have so much to do, but you're like adding things on actively? Or is it temporary, like it's a specific class that's making you really busy, or you committed to like 1 year with like this club or organization and it's requiring you to do more work? If it's temporary, maybe wait it out, maybe see if you can like organize your time a little bit better. But if you're noticing like, okay, both of us are really wanting to prioritize ourselves and our careers and school, that's perfectly normal. And maybe you don't need to be having a relationship right now. Because we are so young. Like, we don't need to be
We're so young.
locked down immediately.
Exactly.
Now's the time anyways to be busy and doing things for yourself. So I mean,
Period.
why not? Okay, this is the last one, but what's your advice for someone getting back into dating after the end of a long-term relationship?
Okay.
You got thoughts on this one?
Yes. I would say don't rush into anything.
That's exactly what I was gonna say too.
I would say I don't want to be cliche and be like focus on yourself, but like focus on what you like when it doesn't involve a man. I think sometimes girls, like even guys, like we rush way too fast into things to like as like a coping mechanism, but then it ends up being worse. I think that's the time to really like focus on you, focus on your hobbies, working out, reading a book, hanging out with your friends, going out to the bars with your friends. Like, I don't think there's any need to like rush back into that. But I think, you know, if you want to get back on the dating apps, do that. Sure, why not? But I don't think like your first priority should be, you know, like getting into another like long-term relationship. But I think if you are like genuinely ready, I think it'd be cool. Yeah, if like a guy asks you out on a drink date, go. Like,
Yeah, like,
sure,
have
why
fun
not?
with
Yeah, like
it.
have fun with it. Just like I said, go into things with not like much of an expectation, and
sure.
just remember like you're young and have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say the exact same thing. As someone who's been in a long-term relationship before and then re-entered the dating scene, I feel like you really need to take the pressure off of yourself because it can really feel like, wow, I'm about to start dating. Like, if you were really with someone for like a long time, like upwards of like 2 years, then it's gonna feel strange at first talking to new people, seeing them in that way, letting yourself be seen in that way again by someone different. So just take the pressure off and approach it more so of like, I just want to get to know new people. I want to have fun. I want to get to know people. If it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's perfectly okay. And then even if you find someone that you really like and maybe you guys click and all of the dots align, take your time with it. Like, you still don't need to rush into it. Don't be like a serial relationship person jumping from like relationship to relationship to relationship just because you found someone you like, you know. I think you can take your time with it. There's no really rush for anything.
Yes, take your time, ladies. There's really no rush at all.
I love that. We heard it here first. FSUChicks says we can take our time. Okay, so finally, just to end this episode, I want to do kind of like a flash red flag, green flag FSU edition. So
Okay.
I'm just going to read out a few bullet points. You tell me red flag, green flag. Don't even explain yourself. And we're just going to go from there.
Okay.
Okay. I feel like we already talked about this one, but invites you to their date function.
I'm gonna say green flag because I'm still gonna go to date function. I don't care.
Okay, love that. Okay, what about, okay, goes to strip every Friday religiously. Will not miss one.
Red flag.
Okay. Asks you on a study date to Strozier.
Green flag. He's studious. Sure.
Yes. Says they hate going to clubs, bars, parties, anything like that. Heavy on the hate.
I would say right like in the middle of green flag, red flag because I still want to go out, and I feel like if they hate it, that can be an issue in the long run.
It's getting like into
Yeah,
that
so
gray
more red
zone.
flag.
Okay. What about uses Tinder and Hinge at the same time? Right.
Red flag easy.
Because why do we
No-brainer.
need both?
Yeah, why do we need both?
Why do we need
Sorry.
both? Okay. Introduces you to their mom on FaceTime a day after knowing you.
Red flag. He's about to manipulate you, sweetie.
Yeah. Okay. Tries to start a Snapchat streak with you.
Red flag. I'm in grad school. Why are we still communicating over Snapchat? I'm sorry. If you're over the age of 21, we need to stop texting on Snapchat.
Yeah. No, I agree. Why are we using Snapchat in 2026? That should have been in the other video. Snapchat is out for 2026, please. Okay. Eats all of their meals in Swanee. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Red flag.
Oh, okay. No explanation. Okay. This is so funny. What? It's a double major?
Maybe green flag?
Okay. Love that.
Yeah, maybe they're like really smart.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Wait, I think I lost my place.
They prioritize their academics. That's important.
Okay. Text you at all hours.
Red flag.
That's funny. Okay.
There needs to be a balance.
Okay. You're like, kind of
Yeah.
leave me alone a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What about, oh my gosh, I keep losing my place. Oh, okay. Still follows their ex on Instagram, but doesn't interact.
It really depends, but I guess red flag? Red flag.
Okay.
Just be safe, red flag.
And last one, follows FSUChicks and her campus at FSU.
Green flag, baby.
Green flag, of course. Okay, well, that gives us a wrap for this episode. I'm so glad that we were able to sit down and talk about all the things, dating, hookups, heartbreak, all in between. So I'm just so grateful that you were on with us. It was so fun talking to you.
Thank you so much for having me. It is such an honor to be hosted on her campus.
Of course, yay! I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Please like and subscribe, and definitely submit your crazy Tinder Tuesdays because we need a laugh in 2026. And so we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.